Berke, thanks for coming on the call. It's great to put a face to the name. It's been on behalf of everyone at Ipswich Town, welcome to the club. I'm sure it's been a crazy 2 weeks. How are things?
It's been incredible. Since we started this journey, I'm a massive football fan since I was a little kid. So I'm very much aware of Ipswich's, worldwide fan base. And so none of this was a surprise, but wanting to know about it and wanting to be is on the receiving end, the incredible welcoming fans all around the world, either through Twitter or LinkedIn or Instagram or Facebook or some of them even figured out my wife's cell phone, and she's not even on, on the social media. So
Yeah.
people get contact to me through that way. It's been an overwhelmingly positive support by the fans, and so it's been incredible. It's really humbling in a way, exciting. It gives you that sense of responsibility that you always know when you buy a club, that you're just there for a period of time and you're just trying to leave it at a better place than where you found it. But once you get on the receiving end of worldwide fan base and the expectations, and it just validates what we're here for.
Yeah, this process has been going on for quite some time, but since the deal has been confirmed, what have you been up to? What's kind of been involved from the business end of things? I can see you've got your Ipswich Town scarf as well.
Yes, I have been. So it's been, first of all, with my partners, particularly with Brett Johnson, I probably talked to him for the last 6 years, maybe minimum 5 times a day. That's kind of how our relationship is. With the announcement of our incoming CEO, obviously I've been talking to him on a very frequent basis as well. And, it's been about just really strategizing and with the team on the steps that need to be taken for, next year and beyond. And so just been busy ideating, watching a lot of the matches, if you will. It's, spending some of my time.
Yeah. How have those conversations with Mark been, Mark Ashton, the new CEO? Because moving forward, that is a very important role at the football club, isn't it?
Known Mark for multiple years, if you will. So had always had a good relationship with him. And after we finalized the takeover, I was really happy that we were able to, reach out and get him on board as quick as possible. So really excited to work with him.
I'm sure there won't be any Ipswich fans out there that haven't heard of the group Three Lions now. It's been everywhere in the club, within the fan base. But are you able to touch upon your relationship with Mark and Brett as well?
Yeah, so first of all, I'm going to share an interesting story with you. The night of the takeover, obviously with the time difference when the news broke in England, we were sleeping in the US. And until that point in time, I didn't have the need to turn off the notifications of my Twitter. And I think we got like 4,000 messages. And, I remember my wife waking me up and saying, you need to figure out how to stop this phone. So, and it's been an incredible amount of support. But as it relates to the Three Lions group with Mark Detmer and Brett Johnson, I mean, this is well publicized in media too, but first of all, we're close friends. Our Detmer, our kids used to go to the same school. That's how we met, in Phoenix many, many years ago, probably, 8, 9 years ago now, and established, strong friendships. And we've been doing projects together, particularly as it relates to Phoenix Rising. So I'm just really happy that, when you get to do something that you love and enjoy since you're a kid, that you could only dream of with the people that you like, respect, and enjoy, just feel blessed.
You mentioned that you're close friends there. Do you feel that's helped on your journey?
Say that one more time.
You've mentioned that you're close friends, sorry. Do you feel like that's helped on your business journey?
Yes, without a question. Without a question. Because when you're close friends, you also build that rapport that if you disagree, that you can speak up without being worried about if you're going to, hurt somebody's feelings, right? So we have that really open and frank discussion. So I think that's been paramount in our journey as we were trying to acquire, a club at Ipswich's size. On that journey, it's been a massive help to have that strong tie.
Yeah. and particularly on you, Berke. I think I'm right in saying that you were born in Istanbul, weren't you?
Yes.
So you've got an interest in an upbringing. Are you able to kind of paint a picture of what the young lifestyle of Bakay was?
Yeah, so I hope my mom is not listening to this right now. But the school bus used to drop me off anytime. So my team is Galatasaray, and
Hmm.
my uncle actually, for a period of time, was the president of the club, of the football operations and of that business entity. There's a couple of entities in there. So I was always lucky to, sit next to George Haji. I don't know if you remember that
Yeah,
legend. Next, we had to see the likes of him and Taffarel and Didier Drogba play for our team and just develop these amazing relationships with global superstars, if you will.
mm.
But as a kid, where it starts is I'm a fan. I mean, I always sit at the most there's different sections, right, in every stadium, and some
Yeah,
of them are a little bit wilder and louder than the others. So I was always with the guys that made the most noise, if you will. And I, for those of you that haven't been in a match in Turkey, is first of all, people don't care about any other sport. That's it. Maybe a little bit of basketball, but and it's just that you watch every match, and then you watch maybe 7 hours of commentators talking about what happened, and
yeah,
it's just a whole week journey. And then I remember as a young kid, it would literally impact my week on the results. On some days, if you didn't have a good result, I wouldn't want to go
mm.
to school and face my friends from the opposite team, if you will. But I have the vivid memories that the comment I made about my mom, that school bus leaving me in front of school, and they didn't have the sophisticated tracking technologies then when I used to go
Yeah,
to middle school. So I'll just turn around and, go to the stadium and watch, all the European games, which at that time were daytime. They were
yeah,
not at night. So it was like they were in the middle of the day. And you would go there 6 hours before lining up. None of these, I mean, the party started, if you will, at 7 in the morning. Some
mm.
fans actually sleeping the night before to get a better position to be able to find tickets, etc. So, look, it's in my blood. I love the sport, and I just feel so lucky to be able to participate the betterment of the sport at the best of my ability in a club like Ipswich. So certainly,
Yeah,
but it didn't. I didn't wake up when I was 40 years old and I said, well, let's get into football, and this sounds pretty cool. I mean, since I can remember myself, that's all I cared for, and probably went to, I don't know, hundreds, if not thousands, of live, football matches of my life. I still, lucky enough before COVID to get on a plane and watch,
yeah.
anything anywhere, in championship. And I don't think I have been to a League One match, but I've been, a lot of EPL matches and
Yeah.
championship, and a lot of other European, Germany, Holland, Turkey, etc.
Well, our loud part of the stadium at Portman Road is section 6, so I look forward to seeing you in there.
Okay,
Um,
that's good education. Where am I going to? Section 6?
section 6 in the lower north stand, yeah.
Okay,
But
that
you can feel
noted.
your passion for the sport, and is that something that resonates with the group Three Lions as a collective as well? You're all passionate about the game.
Absolutely, 100%. And again, it's a little bit different in the sense that I grew up in an environment that this was the only sport.
Yeah,
In US, if you look at the environment, you got football, American football, you got baseball, you got hockey,
mm.
So soccer is, as we call it here, is up and coming and have made massive traction, if you will, since the World Cup was here in the 90s, and it's coming back again, right? So
Yeah,
that time frame has been unbelievable from growth of the sport, if you will. But again, I just, my background is different in the sense that I don't know anything about baseball, for example, versus my partners, may educate me on some of that.
yeah.
I'm a little bit more single-sided on what my focus is and what I
Mm.
can.
What's your philosophy for taking over Ipswich Town, Berke? Because it feels like the Three Lions as a group places a lot of emphasis on the community and fan engagement in particular.
Yes. So there's a couple of things here. First and foremost, I got this question asked a lot: why
Yeah.
Ipswich? Right? Like,
Mhm.
you could, and it's been a process that we looked at a lot of different opportunities in EPL and Championship, and on League One. So the best way I can describe it is when you look at the UEFA Championship, to me that's dear, because my team Galatasaray in Turkey is the only Turkish team that won the UEFA Championship. I
Yeah.
remember the year 2000, what that meant for the club. So I can only imagine what it meant to Ipswich, when that happened. And I believe it's the anniversary is coming up, if I'm not mistaken, right?
That's it. Yeah, 40 years.
Yeah, that's very special time.
Mm.
But you got that, you got FA Championship, you got basically winning the league at the top level. You go from that track record to never losing a European match at home. I mean, those are some unbelievable statistics to being, unfortunately, a mid-table, club in League One. So when I looked at the heritage, the fan base, the history, the previous success on where it was
Mm.
and where it can and should be, the biggest disparity, biggest opportunity, it was Ipswich. So that's the reason.
Yeah.
It's we got to get out of League One as soon as possible. It's, unfortunately, it's painful that it doesn't seem like, unless some miracle happens, that's going to happen this year.
Yeah.
But I really look forward to working with our manager to have him establish his own team, if you will, and just get out of this league to Championship initially as soon as possible, and then go from there.
Is being approachable a characteristic that you admire, Bakay? Because the fans will really appreciate the fact that you're even doing these interviews and you're willing to speak to people.
Yeah, 100%. I'm very approachable.
Yeah.
The only times that people complain, sometimes it takes a while for me to get back, but I end up getting back to people, as you can imagine. And I have a busy life with 3 kids at home and young kids and their
Yeah.
sport activities and a club here and club there, and my day job, if you will. I'm in the money management business, so obviously that keeps me very busy as well. But look, these are, and again, maybe this is the cultural part. In Turkey, like, nobody owns Galatasaray, so I'm used to the fans own it.
Yeah.
So I'm very much used to coming from a culture that you're just lucky enough to be there for a period of time to improve and have a massive responsibility to take it from A to B. So in your journey, in my opinion, you can't just sit back and not be accessible. You need to be accountable, to your actions, and you need to set up a vision for the club. You need to bring the people at your best of your ability to execute that vision. And if it's in your skill set to, as a board member, etc., to obviously help that process, otherwise get out of the way of the people that are experts to be able to execute that vision.
Yeah.
But in that journey, you need to be, accessible, in my opinion. You can't just, not be a face and just turn it off and not be there. You need to be accountable and you need to be accessible. That's everybody their own. That's my version of it.
It's a little bit away from Ipswich Town, but I know the other day you released a statement about the Super League. I just wondered if you could touch upon that a little bit more. The football community kind of joined together, didn't they, to oppose that?
Yeah. So it was it Sunday night? It's that the first.
Yeah, it all came back very quickly, didn't it?
I couldn't. My first reaction was a disbelief on the way it was coming in, and I was getting tons, even in US, which is great to see. It shows how much the sport is growing. All my friends calling, texting, what does this mean? What's going on, etc. And my first reaction was anger, because I thought that the only way you can explain this is greed, and just, I understand the pie that was out there that people were focusing for these 12 clubs going to 15, etc. And I got on Twitter, I figured that's the easiest way to communicate. And I very quickly, within a few hours, said that it won't work. I mean, I kind of stick my neck out there. And then I got a reaction from some of my friends saying like, hey, what do you know that these 12 massive clubs, I mean, don't you think they haven't figured this out? And I said, well, I tell you what, I don't know what they think.
Yeah.
I just know the global football fan. And without fans, you got nothing. Who's going to watch TV if you piss off? I mean, can you imagine a scenario, you as a club coming out, you're pissing off your own players, your coaching staff, and your fan base all at the same time?
Yeah.
How in the world would that be a good decision? Anything that you do, if you delineate every part of your club. And for me, look, I'm based in US, and we have a closed system in US. That's how it is established here. But, you got 142-year history with Ipswich Town. Are you going to tell me that all of a sudden we need to bring the bad habits from United States to here and just like close the system? How are you going to explain that to the guys that are, with half or 1/3 of the resources are in front of Arsenal right now? You got West Hams of the world. How are you going to explain to that why Arsenal should be kept special and put in a place that is untouchable with the revenues? I mean, how is that good for the growth of the sport? How is that good for the fan engagement? And I am so shocked as a business person on a football business that they actually thought this was good business.
Yeah.
It may have been a good business for 1 year, whatever, but how could it be a good business when everybody that you need that makes this game beautiful is pissed off about it? And that's why I think you got one of the quickest, reverse, if you will, that you'll get. I mean, I wasn't expecting to be that quick, if you will, but it just shows you the power of fans, period. That's it.
Yeah.
You probably had 1 billion people expressing how they felt about it. And these folks that made these decisions in a vacuum came up and said, well, doesn't look like it's going to work out.
Yeah. Unbelievable few days, wasn't it? And you've just touched upon fan engagement again there. And you're appearing on a podcast tonight. Is that something that you're excited about?
Very much. Very much excited. Yeah. I look forward to the podcast tonight and, see what they want to talk about. I'm sure we'll have fun. So
yeah. And finally, Bakay, thanks very much for your time. But if you were to kind of sum up your message to the town fans, what have we got to be excited about? What would it be?
So I say this with utmost, humility, but at the same time, we want to bring the success that this club deserves, and it has to start with on the pitch performance. It's, again, I was even maybe naive in a way. I was expecting maybe a little bit of if you told me you're going to have a takeover, you're not going to even have a goal in, whatever the 5 matches or that, we need to empower our head coach, our manager to create his own team. And I look forward to working with our CEO and our coaching staff on what that looks like. And my first message is to get Ipswich out of League One. Let's take first steps. First step is the championship. We need to get there. And look, I'm not going to come out here and say, I heard even in some of the podcasts, people talking about, hey, in 3 years we should be in, EPL. I don't think that's a realistic goal, because you need to realize that you have a lot of great organizations in that league that are, shooting for that. The option value of and the prestige and everything that brings to be, in the Premiership. It's an incredible achievement that a lot of good organizations are striving towards. So we need to get ourselves to championship. But, if you were to put me on a spot, I would give more like a 7-year goal, if you will, to get out there, I think, to EPL. That's but we need to immediately get out of where we are and get Ipswich at least a bit closer to, what its history is and start having a strong competing, at the very least, playoff team in that league, which is easier said than done, and get our way up there where we deserve.
Thanks very much for your time, Bakay. It's been fascinating to talk to you. Great to hear a little bit about your journey through football, and this is an exciting time for the football club.
Thank you. I really enjoyed chatting with you as well, and can't wait to meet in person.